Rules Committee in the House and the Senate that shows all the localities that have adopted similar resolutions. First here in Northern Virginia, in Fairfax County and Falls Church City, they passed some, several localities in California. And Kansas, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Texas, Nebraska, Minnesota, Massachusetts, Michigan, localities in all those states have passed these resolutions or ordinances. Then Louisiana passed a bill that was word for word the same as my bill last year. And last year, what was funny is the State Department, U.S. State Department opposed it, and the Vietnamese government opposed it, which was an interesting pairing of the two. And they said, well, we'll take you to court. It's unconstitutional. A state can't say what flag has to be displayed. And no one has sued Louisiana. Right. And they passed theirs last July. So this year I decided that instead of having that type of a language in the bill, my language would mirror the resolutions that have been approved relating to the Vietnamese American heritage flag, to call this flag the Vietnamese American heritage flag. So I introduced the bill this year to recognize that flag in Virginia. The only other flag that's different from the state flag or the U.S. flag that we recognize is the POW MIA flag. So it passed the House Rules Committee. It also had done so last year. It got to the floor. It passed even with a stronger vote this year than last. It went to the Senate, and I had been talking to the chairman of the Senate Rules Committee for months about what I had planned to do, what the bill was about. And he heard didn't even go to subcommittee this year, went directly to the full committee. He said he thought it was a good bill. It passed without dissent in that committee, went to the floor of the Senate, and was approved unanimously. Governor Warner signed the bill, and it will be effective July 1st with all the other bills that have passed this year. So it's a great moment.
That's a great story. Now you are the fundamental and also remarkable, I can say, with the founder of this movement. Go ahead now. Let's say some word about if we ask and we describe and we believe you are the founder for this, remarkable and fundamental. Go ahead.
Well, my view is that this is a country in which freedom is the highest thing that we offer. It's a country of free people. And the people in the Republic of Vietnam, when they fled the country, they were looking for freedom. And so many of them came here to the United States. Other countries like Australia welcomed them. But I think that in this land of freedom, we need to show a flag that symbolizes democracy and freedom, just like our own flag. And I think it's important. There are many repressive regimes still existing in the world, but in most cases there's an alternative to their flag. For example, Cuba is still a communist country, but their flag has not changed since, I think, 1908. In this case, you have a democracy. I know the history of the flag, the three provinces that the French had set up originally. That's what the red stripes stand for. The golden yellow color, as I understand it, has historically been the color representing the country of Vietnam. And it has a very important, strong, historic meaning to people. And there's no reason in the world that this flag should not be displayed, because the Vietnamese Americans here today, in most cases, are citizens. They vote. They own property. They're Americans. And why should they not be able to see the flag of their heritage? So to me, it was very important. It dealt with freedom, and that's why I have pushed it as far as I have.
How much, very important about the local and the American Vietnamese supporting for this floor at the date, important day, go to the bill, for the bill?
There was a lot of support all over the state, but my strategy this year was to play it a little more low-key, not have a lot of people come down, not make a big deal about it, just treat it like an ordinary piece of legislation, not draw attention to it, and I think that strategy worked. Right. But we're supporters from Richmond, where the state capital is, who were there and made their presence known in the gallery when the session was going on, and in the committee meeting, the first committee meeting. And so I think that support is important. I think it was also important that the business community, the Vietnamese American business community, supported this effort, because one of the points that was made is, you know, the representatives from Hanoi came to Virginia last summer, and they're trying to promote trade. So I thought it was important that the Vietnamese American business people explained how important their businesses were to the state, much more than any business that we do with the Hanoi government. So I think that's important, and to me, it's just, like I said, it was just about freedom. And that's what it's all about.
For this process here and the rest of the world, we watch out for your group and special and some coordinator. I'm talking about her.
Yeah.
It is, before you start, okay, let Bob Paul talk about a little bit how important about the coordinator, like a two position, you know, for this particularly remarkable.
Antu was important because she was the one locally here in Northern Virginia who got the Fairfax County government and the Falls Church City government to pass resolutions. And then from that, there were articles written in the newspaper about the issue. And I supported her on each of those occasions. And then when I introduced the bill both last year and this year, she and her friends and supporters were able to come down to back me up. And it was very important. And it was extremely important to have the people from Richmond, because a lot of people in the General Assembly in Virginia do not realize how many Vietnamese Americans there are throughout the state. They might think, oh, it's only Northern Virginia, it's only outside the D.C. area. But in fact, that's not the case. Throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia, there are Vietnamese Americans. Throughout the country, there are.
May I add it? I have to recognize Delegate Bob Hall, because after last year and throughout the year, we worked, you know, I worked with him. I had the privilege to work with him, and he told me about his strategy this year and how to introduce this bill. Until the last moment before he introduced it, he's still debating whether to go the same route last year or to focus on how to get it passed.
Ngay ban đầu thì tôi đã được cô Anh Thư liên lạc và mời cộng đồng để support cho cái lá cờ vàng. Thì chẳng những cá nhân tôi mà tất cả những người Việt Nam, tôi nghĩ rằng người Việt Nam ở hải ngoại đều ưa chuộng cái công cuộc vận động cho thành tựu như ngày hôm nay. Thì tôi
And now, how many total up to now?
I think it's 58 localities.
58.
Even the state of New Jersey came out with the resolution, not a bill like the one we have in Virginia, but still it's a state level recognition. And another thing is that it makes everybody around the country feel so, you know, like excited. That everybody feel that they need to go after it. So I would like to ask Delegate Hall to say a few words to encourage other states, maybe how they can follow your footsteps to get a bill recognized at the state level, like you have done for us here in Virginia.
Well, I would be happy to. I think that what this shows is that in America, in the United States, an individual person can actually make a lot of difference, and that people should not be afraid to go to their governing body, whether it's a city council, local county council or board of supervisors, their state legislature, and let them know how you feel about things. Try to get people who sit on those government bodies to introduce legislation, and let them know. When I went to the Rules Committee, I showed this to them. I said, there are, you know, dozens and dozens of places here all over the country that have approved these, and why should we not do the same? And that's the message you can give. So many states, cities within the states, several cities in California, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Houston, Texas, like this Minnesota, the state of
Hawaii,
New Jersey,
the state of
Hawaii. Very good. So it's spreading. It's spreading, and it's something I think is very important. And I think also as an American, it shows our solidarity with the Vietnamese people that we were trying to help during the war, and that we don't forget them. And hopefully they realize that we won't forget them, and this is another sign that we're still together.
Thank you.
Nói đến sự hiện diện của lá cờ vàng,